so much for taking time to be with us today. So I'm actually Yinn, marketing manager for Partipost Malaysia. Maybe the mic doesn't like me. I can. Am I too near? Okay, that's awkward. But let's start all over again. Okay, so generally, if you guys have not heard of Partipost, which I doubt it because you guys are here today. So Partipost, we are the largest growing influencer marketing platform in Asia, and we continue to help brands like you to actually reach out to consumers via social media. So today, as you can actually see, we're actually talking about word of mouth marketing and how to build a successful strategy. Okay. Alright. So just before that, right, just a show of hands. Do you guys know what is word of mouth marketing? Okay. Who doesn't know, please raise up. So I'm happy that everybody knows word of mouth. And then can I also check with you guys really quickly, when was the last time that you guys actually purchased something just because a friend or family promoted it on social media? Really? Really? Okay, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I actually spend a lot of money buying things my friends and family buy. So without much further ado, we'll just get the party started. So we actually, I would like to introduce our panel today. So first of all, we will actually have John. So John is our CEO and co-founder of Partipost. Yes. And then we have Andrea, who is our country head for Partipost Malaysia. Last but not least, we have Yinn today, the founder and designer of Gung Jewelry, local demi-fine brand of everyday easy-to-wear pieces. I hope you like the introduction. Before we start, I believe our guest speakers would need the mics. Can you test? Test mic? Test.
Hello. Hello.
Thanks everyone for coming. Okay. So we'll start off with, to the world, you're recognized as the co-founder of Partipost, the country manager of Partipost Malaysia, and also the founder of Gung, right? But today, we want to spend a little bit more time to understand, to know who you are as a person, and also can you share with us today the whys, mainly the inspiration, and also the driving force that pushes you to do what you do, right? So it's definitely a difficult question. The first question, maybe John, you want to go first?
Go first? Did you want them to go first?
John, go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, me and two other co-founders, we started Partipost about 5-6 years ago, and I think my motivation might be a bit different than other people's, right? One was driven by wanting to do something different than everyone else, right? So we started out with this idea, and we thought, why can't regular people, how do we help regular people monetize their word of mouth, right? How do they make money from posting things? And presented this to a lot of investors, a lot of different clients, got rejected by the first 10 clients actually, right? And they said, why do I want to pay you and your 50 friends for posting? So weird, right? And so the term micro, nano influencers at that time wasn't really very big at all. Like no one really heard of it, right? So I think our motivation, me and the two other guys who founded this company with me, was how do we, I guess, prove ourselves a bit to our family, to our, I guess, to the world in some sense, but not the whole world, right? right? And that we can do something and go through all the rejection and get past it, right? So I'm very lucky. I have a great team with me, and we've come quite far. So I think the motivation has been like proving people wrong in some sense, but also very happy that a lot of people are also with us, right? Also, so that's probably the main motivation.
All right, thanks, John. You want to go first? Oh, okay. Hey everyone, my name is Andrea. I'm the country manager for Malaysia. Not loud enough? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. All right, cool. What motivates me? I think I first started my first job in social media. And what I found really interesting was watching these YouTubers suddenly become influencers on like big billboards. So I think I remember vaguely the first one I saw was a YouTuber going on Samsung ad. Huge ad in Mid Valley, and I was like, wow, I really like social media, but this is interesting. How does a YouTuber now become a celebrity? And I thought back, all those Disney days makes me feel like I want to be a celebrity too. And I think from there on, working in a digital agency, we also started working with influencers. And watching how those YouTubers from macros suddenly developed into everyday people that had a voice, and they could become influencers themselves. And I think that watching that whole shift from me thinking, how did a YouTuber get a Samsung ad in Mid Valley on the most busy highway, and watching how people have, now everyday people can have a voice. And I think that's pretty cool. And that's what motivates me to be in this industry, watching how the sphere changes so much, so vastly, especially in influencer marketing today. And watching how Malaysia is playing catch up with the other more mature countries when it comes to social media and influencer marketing. So that is what's been motivating me to stay in this industry, and I guess to join Partipost.
What about you, Yinn?
I'm Yinn, so I'm the founder of Gung. So I actually started Gung Jewelry 5 years back, and then I was actually an interior designer before I was in jewelry line. But I always loved jewelry since young, and then what drives me to start this business, because I actually realized there's always in jewelry line, it's always just fine jewelry and fast fashion jewelry. There's no in between where you can have quality pieces but not break your wallet, not paying like expensive jewelry that it's because it's always about stone, but diamond and things. So with my background in interior designer, so I play a lot with material, which I realized our key material that I use, that I want to intro to jewelry line, is stainless steel. So stainless steel is always in construction line. No one actually thought that, oh, it can be so fine. So it's always so bold, so hard, I think. And then, but with that, the characteristic of the stainless steel is actually the characteristic is actually the one that I want to use it in jewelry, because it is durable. How normal, I would say, jewelry perspective, always people think that gold is the best, and then brass, it's always like fast fashion jewelry where it's always easily tarnished. So I want to play with material, how we can bring out the value of it. So this is what drives me to keep continuing explore material that no one thought that it can be something else, in jewelry.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And then I actually realized from John's sharing and also Yinn, it's more of educating and proving people wrong. So I just want to know, how has the journey been so far? Maybe Yinn, you want to continue?
Well, the journey be not very easy, I would say, because when I first started, I believe in e-commerce, online shopping, but back then when I first started, online shopping is not so common in Malaysia, I would say, where I'm based in now. And then I thought it's easy because I am an online shopper, so I thought it's easy to just buy online, but apparently it's not. So people start like very skeptical with online shopping. So I have to go, join some pop-up bazaar and then some consignment, just to let people actually have a chance to see what I'm trying to tell them, like how stainless steel is not it's not just very hard. It's not just something that you see as a probably game, construction site. So this is where the journey, and then I actually think MCO is a good booster for online shopping journey. So this is the whole 5 years. It's not easy, but yeah.
That's very concise. Maybe John and Andrea, you wanna?
Well, the question is, how is the journey so far?
Yes.
My hair has gone a lot whiter. I think Louisa would know. She's been with me 5 years there. But I remember I came back from COVID. We're working from home, right, for 2 years plus. Then I get back to the office. The first thing, I think one of my staff is like, "What happened to you in your hair?" Right, it was super white back then, very white. I remember COVID being very stressful. Had to give pay cuts, things like that, and I think it was tough for the team. I was very worried for them, right? Talk to each of them one by one if I could. So I remember that very vividly. Besides that though, right, the rest has been pretty good. It's been growing a lot. The team has been working very hard. I see a lot of the team members growing, and that keeps me motivated to, improve every day, each and every day. So I think that's what keeps me going too, and the team too. So yeah, I think the journey is still there. We hope that almost everyone, every client, every brand can use us in the future, and we can help add value to everyone who wants to be an influencer too.
Andrea, anything to add?
How's it going?
She just joined.
I mean, I would say it's always going to be challenging, especially we're doing things a little bit different, right? At Partipost, we are trying to leverage on everyday people's voices. We are also a platform which sometimes seems scary. It's always going to be challenging, but I think it's always going to be uphill from here, seeing how the landscape is changing, and people are definitely playing catch up, especially when people say Malaysia is always a little bit slower than the other Southeast Asian countries, and maybe we can prove them wrong. But yes, that's pretty much how's it going.
Okay, I'm actually curious about something, Andrea, because before you actually became our country manager, you are actually a party poster.
Why would you say that? Yes.
Because you've tried our platform before you
Yes.
actually become a country manager. And at the same time, I think this is what Partipost is all about. Advocating everyday people. So how has the journey been so far being a Nano influencer for you?
Oh. Wow. Okay. Honestly, yes. So I was trying out the Party Poster app as Partipost app as a Party Poster, and that's what kind of made me interested to join the company. Because seeing how I've also done it with other agencies, I noticed I have to ask them for money. The products are not delivered, but the deadline is tomorrow. And I noticed even being in the industry, working in the influencer marketing industry, everything is very manual, and you have to go through. It's painful for the influencer. It's also painful for the client, because you're also looking at Excel sheets, a lot of it. A lot of it's very manual, right? We do a lot of our content QC on slides, and sometimes it gets messy. So what actually got me really interested in Partipost, both as an influencer and as someone that has joined the company, is having a one-stop solution. And essentially that's what we're trying to do, right? Making everything seamless, not just for the brands, but also for the clients, the customers, and the influencers itself.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So we are talking about pain points here. So we all know that building a brand presence and also marketing a product, everyone here would be able to conquer that it's actually not easy. And then continue to stay at the top of mind of audience is definitely a never-ending task. I mean, trends change, tastes change, audience landscape change, right? So can you actually share with us today, how did you started marketing, and what are some of the key learnings that you've gained along the way? So I think with this, maybe we'll start with Yinn first.
Sure. Marketing.
Yeah, how did you actually started marketing Gung in the beginning?
I actually started with mostly actually sharing with friends and family first, but most important with e-commerce business, I think photo that speak out the product is very important. So at first I've been trying like flatly, showing product, which I think actually a lot of people cannot relate because they only see product but they don't know how it looks like on a person. So then I realized we need to have like model photo, but with only model photo, people can't relate because they think they're too pretty, just pretty photo on top, but it won't be the same when I'm wearing it as a normal person. So then I realized I need to try so-called influencer. That at that time it's not a lot, but it's very hard. I need to tell them that how it would look like on the real person. So I actually sent it to a few influencers to try out, which I sent to those that actually love jewelry, because I feel like you have to love something, only you can bring out the product. Because if you, and also I think influencers, they have their own community. I think it will sort of affect, if you normally don't wear jewelry, suddenly you wear it, will feel like, oh, what's happening? So this is the marketing that I feel in a way to actually love the product. You show it because you love it and you think that you believe in that product. Yeah.
So that is definitely one of the key learnings that you had.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about John and Andrea, some of the strategies when we actually started marketing?
I mean, you're our marketing person. I don't know why you don't.
Maybe we'll pass the question back to you.
But
for now, I'm just the moderator, very neutral.
Okay, fine. So when we first started, I think there's a lot of trial and error, right? Especially for something so new, clients rejecting us and all that. But the first thing we did was, who needs a little bit of cash, right? And who's very digitally savvy, posts a lot on social media of that nature. So just went to the universities, right? We actually went physically, just went to the universities without their permission sometimes, right? Just show up with our very young interns in our team. They're part of the school, so, and just say, hey, can you download this app? Can you sign up? Can you use this? And they're like, what is this? So we would very closely ask them, why don't you want to use it? Then you get feedback straight away, right? You get feedback straight away, like, okay, we gotta bring this feedback back. Because if it's online, sometimes they will answer or they might not give you feedback, right? So we wanted to be on the ground. I was not very good at this because I would approach like people and they're like, who's this stranger, right? So the ones on our team who did very well at approaching university students was mostly the females, right? Maybe some guys who were there looking, I don't know, right? But it didn't really work for me, so I was approaching a few and yeah, it didn't really work. But our team did a good job going after the universities and getting like thousands of signups, And actually we're still doing this till this day, right? So that's how we started. And I think our marketing team with Eileen in charge in Malaysia it's more nuanced now, right? There's more channels that we're doing. We're doing a lot of the same things that you guys are probably doing, ads and stuff, but more targeted at certain profile groups, profile types, right? So if we see a client that we're working with for, maybe we work with them for 6 months, or we know they're gonna be working with us for the next 6 to 12 months, then we will focus on, they need mothers, So we'll actually actively go and acquire and engage them and build that community for them, right, ahead of time. So, yeah, was that a good answer?
Yep. Yep, good answer. Shall we move on to the next question? Okay, going back to today's topic, which is word of mouth, and I know that, indirectly we've already been talking about it as well. So what are your thoughts on them, and do you think it's important? It could be a yes and no answer.
Okay, yeah. Of course, it's a yes for me, because me myself personally, I actually would trust more like my friends and family that actually intro something, let's just say even restaurant, because I probably a bit afraid to try something new. So if someone of that I trust of then intro me a restaurant that I would want to try, probably less skeptical about it. So I do think word of mouth marketing reviews is important, because that's how you really feel about something. Did I answer the question actually? Yes. I forgot, so sorry. Yeah.
Anything else to add from Andrea and John?
Yeah, maybe just to add on that, I think what we don't realize is word of mouth marketing has been there with us since the day we could listen. Because someone is already telling you like, hey, try this, or someone tells your mom, feed your kid this because it's good. Like, eat your vegetables. How do you know it's good? Someone told me. All the other kids eat vegetables, for example, right? So you don't realize like word of mouth marketing has been there for so long. It's just that suddenly you put it in a business context, you're like, oh, do I need this strategy? But actually the strategy has always been there. We just maybe forget, or we make things a little bit complicated. But yes, word of mouth marketing has its impacts from day one. From the things we learn to like, from the brands we consume as kids, all the way up to, hey, now we're working and we need word of mouth marketing, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yes, it's always been there.
Yes, but I mean, there's a no. I think a lot of clients ask me. Obviously, they know word of mouth works, but they're like, "How does using your platform translate to sales in the long term?" Right? So I think that's the question I got. I was thinking about it all throughout the last few years, whatever, right? And I think one formula, of course, it really depends on your objectives, right, during that period, but a lot of clients, especially SMEs, ask me this. They cannot afford to not get sales immediately, right? And within 2 or 3 months even, or even 1 month, right? They have to make ends meet. So we came up with something called the Nano or Micro Ambassador, Influencer Ambassador program, right? And basically, it comes down to 2 points, right? One is we want to help you find the authentic, the right match of influencers, right? It has to make sense, whether they have a few hundred followers or a few thousand followers, but they are authentic, right? When they use your product, when people who follow them see their postings or whatever they say, if they like Italian food, they like Italian food, right? Or something. The second point we've seen that is the key is the frequency or consistency of the posting, right? So you've seen a lot of influencers, they post one time, right? You're like, oh, it's just awareness, and is there even sales from that, right? And a lot of clients are, oh, influencers just for awareness, right? So you hear that a lot. So what we've tested out in other countries, especially since Malaysia just started, right, for a year, is that the frequency of posting is very, very important. As they post more authentically, then you can see the increase in the probability of sales, right? So the example is like the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
You said, right? If let's say I follow Andrea as a friend, right? But I should, right?
You should.
I should follow you on Instagram or something. Then she posts, maybe she likes Japanese food, and I know she likes it, right? She posts once, I'm like, maybe she's just trying it out. I'm not gonna go, right? She likes to post about restaurants and stuff. Why should I try? She goes again the next week with her mom. I'm like, whoa, this is a restaurant she goes twice. She's like, I can eat it every week, this is great, right? Whatever, right? And then she goes again the next week and says, tags me, you should come with me, I know you like this food. I'm probably going, right? I'm probably going. So you can see that the frequency improves the sales. This is not a new strategy like Andrea mentioned. This has been working since prehistoric times, right, I think. So that's why we think that authenticity plus that frequency really works. And I mean, even Facebook ads or other ads, they retarget you like mad, right? The frequency is crazy, right? But it's like 0.0 something percent. So I think for us, we don't need to target you 1,000 times. We can retarget you a few times from your friend, right? And then it works. So that's my take on word of mouth.
Thank you, John, for sharing with us the essence of Partipost, which is word of mouth marketing. Can you also share with us really quickly, some of the success stories that we have and some of the best learnings? Case study 3.
Okay.
Andrea, you want to go?
Yeah, maybe I can share this one. When it comes to word of mouth marketing, you realize that you can't just use one person in one time, like what John has just shared, right? You need to use a lot of them, a lot of times, right, to reinforce that sort of brand positioning, that strength. And that's some of the campaigns that we see has been gaining a lot of traction, right? They do campaigns on the masses, for example, which will show Okay, there it is. Which will show, so for example, like with tailors, right, of course everyone knows tailors, an education group. Right, what they did here was they create their own content, their own sentimental value content that they want to share out in a soft sell sort of approach. We still tie in education with the content, but we also want to talk about certain soft values, such as in this case was the Merdeka one, where we want to talk about, what are the contents, what it is about Merdeka, how can we advocate change, and essentially tying back to tailors, which is of course through education. Essentially what we did with this was to actually use the content that tailors had already created, get the influencers to share the content to their stories. And really what this is doing is actually amplifying the brand messaging. And of course, you can see it's quite a soft sell approach. You want to talk about education, you want to change the world. We advocate a lot for education, and we're getting people to share. To be exact, 244 people shared this content. And you realize the reach is, the views are high, they're about 44,000. And these are just people resharing the content. Why do we want so many? There's so much noise on social media. If you're not doing, mass blasting, if you're not sharing content at a high scale, you probably won't really see it. But if you're using campaigns on masses, like here we have 244, and we'll have a couple more that you'll see why we talk about masses, is to actually create a social dent, on the platform. So be it Instagram, TikTok. The more we share it, the more chances of people seeing it. And you can see that the engagement rate is slightly above the average as well, right? Which is about 2.5. You can see that people actually engage with this content. One, because we're doing it in two ways. It's the mass reshare. Another thing, especially that's what's trending now, is people like video contents. And you realize a lot of brands, maybe even yourselves, are pushing more video contents because you can showcase the products better, your services better. And you're already creating this content in-house, right? So why waste it? Get the influencers to reshare. Get more people to see your already created content, driving more, traffic towards that. And we have another one as well. Which is also a mass campaign where we collaborated with SSF, so they're a home furniture brand. And it came in two phases. So the first phase, we had the micro-influencers. You still want those high-quality contents, you want a nice aesthetic video, so we can actually have the micro-influencers to create those aesthetic contents for you. Then we go ahead and amplify it. So as you can see here, we actually collaborated with 1,000 influencers to reshare the content. Now, essentially what this is doing is, hey, you already paid for great content. You saw something that, for example, the content they reshared had high engagement, high views, aesthetically it looked good. Why not amplify that even further? So you can see it's like a two-phase sort of campaign. And why I keep saying this mass sort of pushing towards reshare is that you need to create enough sound in the social space to actually have people see your brand. You need to reach out to enough people, reach enough pools of people to actually have high reach, high engagement. And last one. And of course, still coming back to videos, right? A lot of brands are looking into videos now. We know videos are more engaging. We have the TikTok campaign where we ran the campaign with 40 influencers. So this is a pretty interesting one. I know a lot of brands here say, yes, we're doing awareness campaign, but how am I going to get people to try the products? Do I just sponsor them? Interestingly, with this one, we actually got them to purchase the product. So essentially, what does that mean to you? You're doing an awareness campaign. You're also getting people to buy a product, which has a direct correlation to your, if you want to call it out as your marketing ROI, you're spending it. People are also buying your product from the website, and they're making the content around your product. So I think with this, we don't just see influencer marketing to, it's just awareness. We also get them to try your products. They also review your products. They also create content around your products. And essentially, these are some of our case studies that we feel is quite aligned with what's happening in the social space, right? People like videos, we know that. People are spending at least 5.6 hours just scrolling, watching each other's videos, your own friends and family, right? And we can see a lot of traction when it comes to videos. Brands are exploring this, and we can also see that the engagement rate is pretty high for TikTok, right? So we know on average they have like 4% views. You can see here there's actually a lot of views, and it also comes down to content strategy, which Partipost can also help you guys with, right? It's not just take a product, buy it, post it. We also help you guys with strategy, how you can add these kind of soft sell approaches, be it how Keurig Salapas add value to your daily life. I know for me it's pancakes. I also joined this campaign, that's why I know. Yes. So I tried it, and one of the USPs was like, hey, it doesn't stain your clothes. And because we work a lot with the nano influencers, you realize, or I realized at least, I really had to try the product to write a review because I don't have a manager to help me write a script. Right, so what I think is really great with all these case studies is not just the mass marketing, but people also trying your product, purchasing your product.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Why are you sharing case studies with us? Yinn, do you have some success stories with some of your influencer marketing?
Yes, like I shared before, I always work with someone that actually I tried before I actually found out how I can actually found a good example is I actually tried a lot of influencers, so I actually blast. And then actually we always thought that a lot of followers means good. I mean always not. I mean everyone look at numbers, right? So then I tried the one a lot and then also the nano and the micro. So I actually found out less follower doesn't mean it's not good. It's just what's the objective, and actually I found out like my good example of it's the influencers that love jewelry that actually share my product actually work better than those have more followers because they really review and then they love it and then they actually of course probably not wearing every day but whenever they wear it and post it actually people started to follow and then realize oh what is this, why is she keep wearing Gung jewelry, and then started to wanted to know more about Gung and then they will click in, and then the one that the influencer keep wearing it will actually have actually will convert into sales set that month. Probably not the first day, but actually like just shared before, actually this to me influencer marketing it's more like seeding, and then at the end it will actually convert, but we can't really tell in the first in the beginning. But I do believe that because of the review and how they trust the influencer sharing, because she actually very like most of the time, even like I say, let's just say if me myself keep sharing the jewelry is non-tarnished, then people will say I'm biased. But if someone else that actually wear it and then show it wearing it while doing exercise, and go shower with it, and then they still see at the end of the day, oh, it really still looks good, and it's actually the product itself can show how good is it, and then the influencer actually love it. It will actually make them want to try also. So this is like my good example of the whole marketing, that's the journey. Of course, it's not always good in the first place, but A/B testing it's what I've always been trying also.
Thank you so much for sharing it. Because to be honest, I also you actually mentioned testing with different influencers, and people always have the perception that influencers or word of mouth is always for brand awareness only, but it actually can actually lead to conversion if you have the right objective, you have the right strategy. I'll be honest, when I first came across Gung, it was not through Gung's platform. It was actually through an influencer, and originally she wasn't tagging the product. So that is the genuine love that she has for jewelry and also good jewelry. And then subsequently, I think recently when I actually saw her posting, I can actually see a promo code.
Yeah. That's how I find out, after, because I don't feel like giving out promo code in the first place, because people would think that it's just a transaction, like how we want to do sales and things. So we actually send her, and then if she really love it, then I find like, oh, maybe we can try something else. So with the promo code, it will work, and then it can actually give value to the influencer also, that you're posting actually people trust you. So it's not just one side. I believe that in this world probably it's always so transactional. So I feel like we need to give something else as well, because she loved our product. I feel like I want to appreciate that she actually appreciate what we have done. So with the promo code, we can actually test out what's work and what don't work. Yep.
I think the world is not just transactional. I think it's super cluttered right now. And then, with so much information and ads in the digital sphere, especially post-COVID, right? So one thing that consumers are really looking for when it comes to word of mouth or even any ads, right? It's the authenticity and also its relevancy. So nano influencers generally is the main tier when it comes to Partipost. They are able to deliver not only what I just mentioned in terms of authenticity and also relevancy, they can also drive unexpectedly high ROIs. So what are your thoughts on this segment? Just elaborate a little bit more from what you've shared earlier about this underutilized and also this unprioritized group of people that actually yield power to actually influence masses. John, do you want to go?
I'm obviously a little bit biased to this, but I think the market is just, there's not enough awareness about it. It's also a growing industry, so it's natural to a lot of people don't know about it or haven't tried it out. So there's a lot of clients of ours, especially you guys, early adopters, I would say, right? And giving it a try, taking a chance on us. I think our team and I especially really appreciate that, right? But I think overall the market will grow to that. We're trying our best to push and be one of the pioneers to push that, especially in Southeast Asia, right? But I think again, very biased. I think the market will grow, right? And I think the future is pretty good for nanos. Having said that, I'm not saying micros, macros, all those are useless at all, right? I think having a balanced approach to marketing is still useful, right? But this could be one of your strategies, maybe one of the main ones. That would be great, but one of the strategies going forward.
Andrea, do you have anything to add?
Just probably adding on to John's one you mentioned about the different tiers. Yeah, so it really boils down to your objective and what we're trying to achieve, how you can use influencers in so many different ways. So not just the big ones, but also the small ones. So I think each and every tier of influencer has a different objective that it can help you to achieve. Are we getting there to slowly be more receptive to using, nano influencers? We definitely are. That's what you guys are here as well, right? But yeah, I definitely do see that, it's a combination of all. There's no one size fit all, and there's not going to be one marketing strategy that works indefinitely. But it's more of how you can pair maybe Partipost strategies with your already marketing strategies and how we can, add value to your marketing initiatives. And I think that is pretty much how we see nano influencers adding value to brands.
Okay. I think before we go to Yinn, right? I think you also shared that you try not to find really pretty models to actually model your products. From a very early stage in your marketing, you actually realize that everyday people and normal people will actually have better power. So do you still do that now, and how regularly?
Yes, I actually even collect reviews from customer, because I feel like even myself, I'm not influencer, so I actually like to see authentic review. So I do collect from customer and even influencer themselves. Of course, people will probably feel that they are biased, but that's why I feel like with nano influencer is good, because they get to try. So that they get to try the product themselves and then they review it because they like it. It's not because I have to pay them. So I still do it because, I would say not just influencer, but customer, and also, but customer can be a nano influencer. I think Partipost the vision is kind of similar as what I want to bring out, as how we should actually appreciate everyone, their thoughts, their review, because of course like we know micro and they have their target, but we as a small part, we do know that our reviews will get appreciated by people if there is someone able to help out to actually show the world that everyone's opinion is worth to see.
Sometimes it's not just the wall. I think sometimes if I actually find a new restaurant, I would want my best friends to try them as well. So we start small, and then gradually, once we actually get traction, people actually value our taste buds, and then you never know, you'll be a foodie influencer yourself. So going back to Partipost, I think this is a question for John and also Andrea. With the upward trend of influencer marketing, Partipost, we have been helping a lot of brands, some of them are here with us, and in Asia, basically to advise and also run effective and efficient influencer campaigns. Brands like Petronas, Gamuda Land, Charles Keith, and of course every one of you guys here. I cannot name everyone. We appreciate you. Can you share with us what are some of the pain points that we are addressing as Partipost, and why are brands coming back?
I think I did mention this before, going from a manual way of working with influencers and how Partipost sort of helps us to makes it a little less messy, make everything consolidated in one place, right? At the end of the day, we want something seamless. We also want something scalable, and that's what the platform helps us to do. So we're addressing one main pain point is that instead of going through a lot of sheets and a lot of different files, everything's in one place. You select your influencers in one place, you vet your content in one place, you make any adjustments you need in one place. So like a one-stop solution, right? And the other pain point we're trying to address is when we talk about scale, it's going to be hard if you only reach out when you have a request, when you have a campaign. Essentially what Partipost is doing is we have all these influencers that we're growing in our database. So when you need them to be activated, they're there for you. Right? Be it even if it's an ad hoc campaign, it's like, oh hey, Andrea, John, we have a campaign that is going to go live in a week. Can you get influencers? Yes you can, because they're already in our database, right? They're ready to be activated, and I think that's one of the main points we address, right? The speed and the scale, and you can't be slow nowadays with digital. Everybody knows that, so I think that is one of the biggest pain point we're addressing.
John, do you have anything?
I think Andrea said it really well already, actually. Maybe add a little bit, which is like, I think even our platform right now is maybe 70% there in terms of automation, right? I think it can be improved even more. Yeah, even more. Our vision is like imagining if, from our dashboard, you can click on your objective, what's your KPIs, etc., whatever, and then the campaign briefs just pop up, right? And so you can just select it, it's already filled out, put in your credit card, whatever it is, and then it just runs, right? Estimated numbers, like Facebook AdWords or Google AdWords, right? So our vision is actually to be able to activate so fast, right? And then get all the data there quickly. We can even, at the end of the campaign, we can recommend you which campaigns will actually work for you next, right? So our vision is still, I guess, kind of in the process of getting there. So maybe that's all I'd like to just kind of add.
Okay, thank you, John. I think we actually have something special for our guests today.
Right, so we do have some Super Saver packages. Apologies for the hard sell, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I think we've talked so much about activating these campaigns on masses, how we're going to do it, how much is it going to cost. Because you guys all made the effort to come here today, we have also prepared some special packages for you guys. So you can see, for example, the first one is, of course, coming back to the videos, the IG Reels. You can see the number of packs, the timeline of weeks, and the different costs, and of course the promotions we're having. Essentially what these are is to help you guys with some promotion to get started on mass campaigns. And if you have anything at the top of mind or something that comes up later, you can always refer to this and let us know. Of course, we do have some general guidelines, like what are the type of profiles. Of course, when we talk about mass, right, we're looking at general profiles. They're everyday people. On average number of followers, 200. And there are also different packages that we have for different channels. So be it if you want to do Instagram videos. We can also talk about the reshare, which we saw with some of the case studies, right? If you already have content like, I already prepared my content, but I want something to amplify. Year-end's coming, and we know this year and next year's going to be crazy, right? We have Q3, which has so many year-end sales. Chinese New Year's in Q1, Q2 is Hari Raya. If you want to activate something, then I think this is also a good time to sort of leverage on what we can do with the mass reshare. So these are some of the special packages we have prepared for you guys today. I won't go too much in detail about it, but we definitely have our sales reps and BDs on ground that can help you. You know, if you have anything in mind or any questions that you want to explore. And the last one here is TikTok. So I know some of you guys here are very interested to get into TikTok. There's a lot of different things we can do with TikTok now. It still is very UGC generated, but I do see a lot of brands being more active, creating more soft sell sort of videos. So if this is something you guys are also interested to, you want to grow your TikTok platform. There's a lot of different ways and concepts we can tie in these kind of mass campaigns. So these are just some of the packages we want to share with you guys. Like if you have anything top of mind, as we've been talking, you're like, oh, actually I do have a mass campaign I want to reshare with them. These are also some of the packages we can look at today.
So sorry, we do have terms and conditions.
Yes. So it's exclusively for you guys only, right? And of course the deal must be signed within 3 weeks of the campaign. So you have 3 weeks to go back and scramble that marketing calendar. Apologies and thanks in advance. Right, and of course we want them to be utilized within this year. So I think there's quite a lot of big events going around this year. So there's Christmas, there's a year-end sales, 11/11, 12/12 if you haven't. I think there are different, or quite a lot of campaigns we can help you guys to activate. If you forget the TNCs, don't worry, our BDs are behind you, they'll come look for you.
Okay, I think hard sell moment stop here.
Thanks.
Okay, so we are at the second last question. After this, we can have dinner. Bear with us a little while more. Okay, so this question is actually for Yinn, right? So please don't be too surprised, right? So you actually shared that, you started off marketing, you didn't know what to do, there was a lot of A/B testings and stuff like that. Do you have like 1 or 2 advices for some of our attendees here based on your point of view as a founder and also in the startup industry as well, or even dealing with a lot of consumer, doing a lot of marketing on social media, right? Some of the hit and misses that you've encountered, that's one. And also, what are some of the things that we should be adopting when it comes to social media promotions?
Okay, hit and misses, I think I actually shared just now, like how the number of followers actually, for me, my point of view, it's doesn't do the justice. Sometimes people think that a lot of followers get a lot of conversion and things, but from my experience, it doesn't work that way. So I always look for authenticity. So those that love jewelry, it's someone that I will approach. So same goes to, I think, other SMB was want to try it. Probably find the objective that you want, and also this is also I realized from an event that I've done, case when I know exactly the objective that I want to do, let's just say it's a awareness, it's not conversion. So because when you tend to focus on conversion, then you let me put it that way, like when I focus on my objective at that time, it's awareness, and I don't stress myself with the conversion. Actually, when I just focus on the awareness, then it will actually bring to the conversion side. Yeah, so what I mean is just know what exactly objective you want to do, and then it same goes to the influencer that you want to find, because not every influencer marketing will convert to sales. It's a seeding part where I think influencer marketing help business to actually bring out your ideas, and also let's just say like how I want to educate people about stainless steel can be used as a jewelry. Yeah.
Thank you. I think based on just recapping on what you just mentioned, right? So I think getting the right influencer is important.
Yeah.
Knowing your objective is important.
Yes.
And then even though sometimes your objective starts with brand awareness, it doesn't mean the shoppers doesn't go through a marketing funnel.
Yes.
They do.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome. So basically, it depends on your messaging, like what Yinn is sharing as well. I think having the right messaging, having the right objective, and continuously educate and boost out these kind of posts will actually lead the consumer journey down to the funnel where they actually take action. Yeah. So just a recap.
Yeah.
I hope I'm correct.
Yes, you are correct. Because I'm a person also, I don't like to hustle. It's very hard to let people just buy a product straight away because they don't know that we all as a consumer, we want some valuable when we want to get something. So I think we need to have the funnel like receiving part and then go to the closure. We will need a map. Did I? Yeah. I think I explained that. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Yinn. And then I think the last question to all, but Yinn, if you still have things to add on, you can. So we're at the end. So this is the last question. So what is some of the main takeaways that you want to share with everyone today? If there's only one from John or like Andrea or Yinn, if you have any last words.
I think that one I conclude just now already. Yeah.
Okay. Then Andrea, do you want to go first?
I think in any marketing effort we do, be it influencer marketing or anything we do, right? I think consistency is definitely key. Right? Doing it one time, seeing it once, posting it one time is essentially not enough. You got to keep doing it to actually see how it works in the end. So be it for influencer marketing, be it for any of your challenges you guys are having with the brand or how you're going to market the brand, I think it's just really staying consistent and to trust that brand awareness is directly correlated to sales at some point, right? As Yinn has also shared.
I don't really have anything to add. Just thank you again for everyone for joining us. Thanks for your support and giving us a chance. Thank you.
Shall we have dinner?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But if you have any questions, you guys can scan here. We will reach out to you downstairs because I know you guys are hungry. You guys can't see the QR code. I will scoot away, but yes, I think we can start slowly going down. But I just want to do a really quick shout out. Thank you so much.